And now, I would like to introduce our student speaker for today's commencement exercise, Mr. Gregory Holland. Would you stand for mechanical engineering? Mr. Gregory Holland is a local from nearby Montgomery County and has always been interested in the mechanics of how things move. Outside of the classroom, Mr. Holland worked as a teaching fellow for the fluid mechanics course to help communicate engineering concepts to his peers in simple terms. He also worked part-time as an operations assistant at the gym, repairing broken and malfunctioning exercise equipment. He supplemented his engineering education with these hands-on skills. Greg served as the events chair and president for Maryland's American Society of Mechanical Engineering student chapter. Greg is a member of the University Honors College and has a perfect 4.0 GPA. In addition, he spent a semester abroad in Melbourne, Australia, where he studied renewable energy technologies. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Gregory Holland.
Hello. So a few months back, I met one of my scholarship donors at a thank you dinner. He had donated a lot of scholarship money to the university, so I thought of him as a successful person. And at some point during the dinner, I asked him if he had any tips or advice for how to be successful in life. He told me there's two types of advice you're going to get from people, and both are wrong. He said there's the people who are going to tell you, here's what I did to be successful, and you should do the same. And there's going to be the people who tell you, here's what I did, and it ended up as a total mess, so do something else. He told me that everyone is different, and that what works for some people won't necessarily work for others. You need to find your own path in life, he told me, and it won't always end up where you think it will. So I want to talk today about what we can do to best find our own paths. I believe that it's not only our actions that create our paths forward, but also the environment in which we perform them. Something I've frequently heard throughout my life, as I'm sure you all have, is the saying, just be yourself. When we're unsure how to act in certain social situations, people tell us, just be yourself. When I first heard this, I thought it meant that if I acted like myself, then everyone would like me. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. The truth is that some people will like you, and some people won't. I think a better version would be, just be yourself, but make sure to be in a place where yourself is welcomed. By now, we all have a group of friends with whom we can just be ourselves. These are the people that accept us for who we are, and who appreciate us for what we have to offer. We know certain people who, when we're around them, they build us up. But we also must admit to ourselves that there are certain folks who will stifle our development. And in crafting our path forward, I believe that it's best we surround ourselves with those who will help us along the way, not hold us back. There will also be certain places you fit in, and certain places you won't. If you're a country mouse, you'll have a hard time adapting to city life, and vice versa. During a summer internship, I learned that I was a city mouse. I had rented a house in the middle of nowhere. There was no neighbors, no Wi-Fi. There was nothing to do. I woke up for work one morning to find that I had forgotten to close my car windows the night before, and that baby spiders had crawled in and built webs in my steering wheel and cup holders. This was not a good environment for me. I'm sure you each have your own preferred living environment, so try to pick the places that will make you happy. I believe that we're at our best and happiest when our talents are welcomed and appreciated. Have you ever heard the saying, don't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree? Fish are excellent swimmers, and I like to think that swimming makes them happy. But on land, a fish is hopeless. If the only time you'd ever seen a fish was one flopping around in dirt, you'd think, wow, what a stupid, useless animal. And yet somehow this is how some employers see their employees. When we do a job that's not suited to us, we drag through the day, we don't do our best work, and it wears us down. Instead, we should find a work environment that recognizes our talents and that allows us to work to our strengths. We'll end up happier, more satisfied, and we'll do a better job. I think that a lot of us know what we're good at, but being good at something isn't the same as it being one of your strengths. When we're good at something, it means we can do it well, but our strengths are what encourage us to action and what give us joy each day that we do them. For example, consider Andre Agassi, one of the greatest male tennis players of all time. But in his autobiography, he revealed that he actually hated playing tennis. He said that winning was meaningless to him. And despite his success and talent, he ended up in a Great Depression. It should be our job to find work that is meaningful, not meaningless. We should find work that we love, something that allows us to swim. Some of us already know what that dream job is, but I think that most of us are still searching. We know that we need to take chances if we want to achieve these dreams, but it can be scary to take chances. Sometimes we're afraid to pursue our dreams because of social or financial pressures. Or sometimes we feel like we've sunk so much energy into one path that it would be too late to turn back and try something else. But what happens if we don't take those chances? What if we settle for something unfulfilling? Do we want to look at ourselves in 10 or 20 years and think, this is what I spent all those all-nighters for? Or do we want to wake up every day, loving what we do, excited for the day ahead of us? We often ask other people for advice, and we put a great deal of time and effort into listening to what others have to say. But we should also take some time to listen to our own advice, because we know better than anybody else what it is we truly want out of our own lives. In order to craft our paths forward, we have to listen to our hearts and trust ourselves to do what we know is right for us. Let's just try to make sure we're in the right place and with the right people to help us on our way. Thank you, and congratulations.
Let's give Greg another round of applause for those wonderful words and thoughts. Make your life meaningful.